shows up. How are you, Nikki?
And over here too.
Oh, Nike, how are you doing?
trouble.
Nike with the check mark, the slash.
The goddess, yeah.
All right, Black Girls Vote.
Absolutely.
Did you get them out today?
Absolutely. We are so excited. We did a partnership with Lyft. We got people not only
That's a good idea.
to the polls, we got them wherever they needed to be. We wanted today to be as convenient as possible. We lifted you wherever you needed to go.
That's a great
45% off for the 45th president. So Black Girls Vote, we got you there. Lyft with Black Girls Vote.
And a lot of the campaign, from what I understand from the Black Girls Vote, is you just want people to get there and vote. You're not telling them who to vote for. Go vote.
Absolutely. It's about engage, educate, and empower. Let's get them involved and let you know about the local politics. Let you know what's going on locally, statewide, and nationally. And as we know, we just launched in November of last year, but in 2 years from now, we're gearing up for our gubernatorial races. We have another race that's coming, so we're just excited about getting folks, especially our kids, engaged and involved. We just left the seed school with nearly 200 students and talked to them. I left here to go there, and they were excited, and they are extremely excited about what's to come with the election.
And don't let up. Don't let up tomorrow.
Absolutely not.
How many first-timers did you have today?
We actually don't quite have those numbers, but we've done a whole lot of work to engage those first-time voters, our young millennial voters. And they've been incredibly engaged in this election cycle and really want to make sure that their voice is heard via their vote.
So now will you have a sidebar organization next time called Black Girls Run?
You know what? We have a nonprofit organization, Black Girls Vote for Her, and that HER is an acronym for Heroic Leadership, Education, and Research. So we're going to get young women involved and advocates, because we say that we need to let them know about the issues that are impacting their day-to-day lives. And to answer your question, we've registered 11,647 voters with our partners up until this general election. So we have followed up with them and constantly been engaged with them. So we're excited that, again, we just launched last November, but folks are a part of the movement, Black Girls Vote.
When you were little girls, when I was a little boy, I want to be the president. Girls didn't have to say that when I was growing up. But now what you see is you can become president.
Absolutely. In the past 2 election cycles, we've seen so many glass ceilings being shattered, and it is an absolutely amazing opportunity, like you said, for our youth to see that really anything is possible.
A lot of folks were saying after hearing Michelle Obama speak that, hey,
you know what?
Maybe next time around.
We agree, and we think that if she wants to be one of our Supreme Court justices, then she should be. That's a part of what Black Girls Vote is about, talking about who's going to commit to issues and policies for women of color. So if that's what she wants, we think that she would be a great Supreme Court justice or a cabinet member or gear for future election if that's what she chooses to do.
Okay, what do you do tomorrow now?
Absolutely. So tomorrow the real work begins. We're really focusing, shifting from our voter registration mobilization efforts to holding our elected officials accountable. They wanted the power, but we want the policy. So we want to see what's your 100-day plan, really what's your agenda? What are you going to make good on your promises during this election cycle?
That was one of the things that Donald Trump brought up in his speeches over and over again. For the African American community, you typically don't see the people until they're running for office every 4 years. But during that slump time, you're kind of avoided, not much brought to you, not even recognized.
Absolutely, but we haven't held them accountable. We haven't came and said, hey, this is our agenda. And so that's what we're so excited about with Black Girls Vote. We released a local agenda. We have a national agenda saying these are the things that we're asking for, and let's hold them accountable. Let's have those conversations when we reach out. We expect to have access, a meeting, because as African American women and women of color, we vote. It's a concrete fact. It's a call to action as well as our civil duty. In 2008 and 2012, we delivered the presidency, and I'm extremely confident that our Black women and women of color got out there today and early voted. Even in Maryland, 870,000 people early voted just here, double what was done in 2012. So we're excited when we see more and more people get engaged in the process.
What did you think when Donald Trump said, vote for me, you've got nothing to lose? What do you have to lose?
Well, it was a very interesting statement from candidate Trump, and I
Politically correct.
and I definitely can see where he is coming from, making the claim that the African American community has been neglected. But we at Black Girls Vote, we definitely want to make sure that it's beyond just the rhetoric. What policy options are you bringing to our community to help support, the future that we want for ourselves and our families?
Was there one specific thing that you think spurred your movement?
You know what? Honestly, I lost my job. I was an appointee working in the state of Maryland. I lost my job. The riots had happened and a murder that happened directly across the street from me. all three things are tied to policy. And so, you know, I had this amazing idea, and I had people like Natasha, other people are home, an amazing team of black women who've come together and said, hey, we believe in Black Girls Vote and let's do it. And since then, we have not only just African American women, we have women from all different backgrounds. We have men who are part of the movement and who have supported us. So it all started with, you know, things that happened, and we're super duper excited about what's to come.
Were there any African American women that voted for Trump?
Absolutely there were.
Okay.
Absolutely there were. And, you know, again, we don't necessarily talk negatively about them. It's some of the things that they had issues or things that Donald Trump talked about, the policy that he spoke of that women of color like. You know, as far as economics, we can't deny that economics, we have to strengthen our economics as a community of color, because we can't talk about education, we can't talk about healthcare, we can't talk about crime until we talk about the economics. And until we talk about entrepreneurship, more people of color, we need to be entrepreneurs. As women of color, we're the fastest growing rate of entrepreneurs, but we need more resources for that. Who's going to help us from the federal level provide opportunities and resources for us to start those businesses? Federal contracts that are coming down has to be a pipeline so that we can get some of that revenue, so we can send our kids to the best schools, send them to the best colleges and universities, so that they are the future presidents of the United States, our future leaders.
Hey, I think she's looking for a campaign manager.
I was going to say.
Absolutely not. I do not want to run for office.
Oh, yeah,
we
not
have
now.
Secretary Murphy. She's going to be the Secretary of Health and Human Services one day. We want to put our people
Yes,
in
that's the goal.
position. No,
There
no,
you go.
entrepreneurship is the way to go.
Have you gotten a lot of support from the city of Baltimore with your efforts?
You know what, we have. We've had some folks reach out. We just left the Seed School. Delegate Corey McCrae was there with us today speaking to the kids. We've had people like Delegate Antonio Hayes. We had some of the mayoral candidates reach out to us, but we wanted to be extremely letting them know we're a nonpartisan organization. And again, as Natasha said, we're not focused on the person, but the policies and who's going to focus on women of color, because at the end of the day, as I said, our babies are dying. 344 murders happened in the city of Baltimore last year, mainly African American men. Our mothers, our sisters, we're devastated. We're hurting as a community, but we have to address those issues. Talk about the economics, jobs. We cannot have someone in office who's not talking about the economics. Baltimore is a blue collar town. Who's talking about bringing back jobs that people here, our educational system, our babies can't read. And how do we expect them to go and get a job if they can't read? So they're committing crimes, not saying that they should, but until you are in someone's shoes, who are we to judge? We did a campaign, we went to a strip club, called it From the Pole to the Polls, because those women are there, they're hustlers. As women of color, we're hustlers. And they're working hard, and they're saying, hey, we're here, listen to us, and we want to make a difference in our community, but they're also entrepreneurs. So who are we to judge? But we also know that policy impacts our day-to-day lives, and we have to change the perception.
From the polls to the polls.
So I'm
How
assuming
about
that you're going to be meeting with Catherine Pugh real soon.
Absolutely. You know, Catherine Pugh's been supportive. She came to our events. Former Mayor Dixon, I worked for her administration at one point in time. We've had Nick Mosby when he was in the office. State's Attorney Marilyn Mosby, she jumped on a call. We had a mobilization call getting our millennials involved. We've been in contact with these folks because we understand that these people impact our day-to-day lives, and we want to have a conversation. We don't want the crumbs from the table. We want to sit at the table and let's talk about real issues that impact women of color in our community.
Got my vote.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right now, even though I'm not running. All right. Natasha,
Yeah,
Secretary
what,
Murphy.
4 years. You'll be
Thank you
fine.
No,
so
absolutely
much,
not. I do not want to run off.
All right.